I'm Darrell Glenn, candidate for mayor of Colorado Springs. You know, this is week 4 of my Get Out the Vote campaign, and a funny thing just happened. Every week I pick a different location. Right now I'm near the intersection of Academy Boulevard and Platt Avenue, but literally as I was shooting this video, the store manager of this particular location that I'm in front of actually came out and wanted to share some stories with me with regard to his frustration on crime. And that really has been the theme of this week. He's experienced, multiple times during the week where people will walk into the store and just run out with items, bags of stuff that, you really can't do anything about. And, he's sharing his frustration and the fact that their policy is to make sure that they not engage because of safety concerns, and I understand that. But I want to be able to share with you that this is real. Whether it's in our city or other cities across this country, crime is a problem. When you start talking about violent crimes and property crimes, they're increasing. And I'm here to tell you, I remember when I was a kid, we would come down to this particular area of town. It didn't matter what time of day it was, and we would spend the day, and it really wasn't a concern. But this week, as I was talking to business owners and even other people that live in this particular area, they're very concerned about their safety, and especially different times of day. You should not be around here because you're at risk of a crime. And that leads me to what we're talking about, is the fact that we need to actually recognize that there are things that we can do. I believe that there are solutions to this problem. Number one, we actually have to admit that it's a problem. We have a lot of people that are ignoring this or asleep and don't believe that crime is actually increasing, and that's just not true. But the second thing we can do, and I'm sure you could hear in the background of this video, as sirens were going on, because things are actually happening as I'm shooting this, but we need to start holding elected officials accountable for the jobs that we elected them to do. We've got prosecutors that aren't willing to prosecute. We've got legislators that are basically creating these catch and release policies so that when our brave men and women that are out there in law enforcement actually make these arrests, by the time they're processed, people are back on the street that same day to be able to commit these same crimes. That's unacceptable, ladies and gentlemen, and we need to vote these people out of office, and if necessary, recall them. And the third thing we need to do is recognize the fact, it is absolutely important that people are held accountable for the crimes that they commit. But we also must recognize that people make mistakes, and we need to provide people with an opportunity to succeed by allowing them to reintegrate into society after they've served their time. And lastly, my wife and I, we're believers, and she constantly reminds me that, government is not the be-all, end-all solution to a lot of these problems. And the one thing that we have not absolutely utilized, in my opinion, enough is the power of prayer, reconciliation, and repentance. We need to recognize the fact that is extremely important too. So if I'm elected mayor, I'll be using that as a tool in my toolbox. So that's it for this week. Continue to follow the journey. Continue to follow the journey at Darrell Glenn for Colorado. That's Darrell Glenn, the number 4, Colorado. Let's win this.